Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter-like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Cheesy E.
Oh, thank you, Quernsey. Welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. Remember the drinking rules. If myself, I was going to say, if Beef Loaf, but if myself references a meme or talks about how my well-regarded and very popular podcast, you drink. If My Sock Summer mentions his time on the West Coast or blames his kids for absolutely everything, you drink. If Josh Nelson condescendingly approves of any of our free agent pickups or trades, you drink.
That seems legit.
That's going to happen. And if Treasy shows up in the comments and makes MSS appear to be dumb or gets hashtag 108ing trending again because he damn well pleases, you drink. You can make all of us drink for $1.08 or more. I prefer more and please lots of them so that Treasy doesn't think he needs to be here for the drinks to come pouring through. And speaking of drinking, I got an important question for you, My Sock Summer. What are you drinking, my friend?
All right now I'm having a taste. I just have a taste every so often. We're doing the it's a Knob Creek. It's the Bananas Foster. It's a 120 and no ice. It's not kicking on me today. So like the flux is good. So I'm taking advantage of it.
Is that you say 100? Is 120 proof?
120 proof.
120 proof and neat tonight. Yeah, baby. Yeah. We're gonna have a great second half of the show.
And I started here, and the kids should have got me up here, but I stayed right here. So everyone drink because I just complained about my kids already.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
But yeah, so that's what I'm drinking, and then I'm gonna go into some Smoke Wagon, a little distillery out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I don't know if you've been there. It's quite nice.
Couple times.
Yeah, we're gonna have that afterwards. Beef Loaf, what are you drinking tonight?
Before I get to what I'm drinking, our good friend Ian says, that mic sounds crisp tonight, MSS. Yeah, you do sound crisp tonight, my friend. You sound good. We had a discussion. My Sock Summer finally listened back to the podcast first time in like 10 years, and he said that Treasy and I were much louder than him, so he's got himself
way too loud.
I appreciate that. So before I get to what I'm drinking, aloha, Mr. Hand. Thank you for the drink. He says chug. We're not going to chug tonight.
I'll chug a little water.
Enjoy some cocktails. Sorry.
I just ran the stairs to get
Thank
that
you, Mr.
water.
Hand.
So what are you drinking out of a fishbowl tonight?
I'm drinking white wine because
you fancy.
I'm hosting tonight. When I host, I like to have white wine, and I'm more of a chatty Cathy. Like I got to make sure I keep the conversation going. When Teresy's here, I can lay back in the cut. It's not a problem. I ain't got to do nothing. But when it's just me and you, I got to get the juices flowing, the conversation's flowing. My Sock Summer.
It's a little different when it's just us, obviously.
It is a little different.
Like no one's going to tell anybody to hurry up. No one's going to tell you to stop talking.
No one's going to say, cut you before you can make another point that you really wanted to make.
Like,
we can keep going.
Okay, no one cares. And then they start something on you. Treasy, worst person in the 108 usually,
Definitely, he's high up on the bad guy list.
Not a nice guy.
I'll mention a little bit of that later.
Sounds good.
My Sock Summer, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. It's Thursday. And if you're on White Sox Twitter, which you obviously are because you're here watching us, and if you weren't on White Sox Twitter, you wouldn't be here watching us, so you saw what's going on. I'm not fully ready to concede yet, but you know what? I don't think there's going to be a Sox Fest, guys. I don't think it's happening. I don't think that we are going to be getting together as fans and seeing anybody from the organization. It's a little thick out there, guys. We don't need to get directly into the specifics of the situation.
That's what's going on.
Holy Christ, it's been a couple of weeks, aloha, Mr. Han, part of the 108 weight loss challenge with us. He's lost some weight. Wally Money has not. He's still just sitting. I almost called him out today because he had the exact same weight last week as this week.
You just assumed the same picture. That's the same picture.
You just sent the same picture, but there was enough of an angle difference. Like I was like, okay, he probably did it right. But I'm not conceding to Aloha Mr. Hand because we have a bet. I don't know what the bet's for, but I'm assuming I'm going to lose now. But I'm not conceding. Like you have to just fucking. Like you have to lose. You have to own the loss.
Legitimately lose. Let it happen. Let it happen. Yeah, don't concede. Fuck conceding.
You can't concede.
You can't concede right now.
That's pussy shit.
We're not going back in and having a fucking recount later. When it actually when something happens, then it's like, oh wait, I didn't lose. We can't do it that way.
And I'm also, and I'm going to promise, hand over heart or whatever the fuck, wherever that is. And I'm going to say this. I am not going to say, this was a fest, or this counts for that. I will not do that if it is not what we expected or what it normally looks like. I'm not claiming it. So you heard it here first, guys. My Sox Summer, big believer in Sox Fest 24, has totally flipped to ship after the last 2 weeks. I just don't think it's gonna happen. I'm not holding out a lot of hope. So we'll see. We'll fucking see.
Yeah, you're going to fucking lose. A couple comments. I didn't realize Billy Wires was one of you big bourbon nerds. He says, Smoke Wagon is low-key good. No one cares, Billy. Keep that fucking shit to yourself. I do care. And then Ian says, you have to DM me some pics of that PC MSS. Horny meter through the roof. Your voice is arousing the crowd through the new the new laptop, bro.
So, yeah, and that's another thing, okay? I didn't use my computer, my desktop, to run the podcast before. I used a little Dell laptop. Fine, it's been okay. Yeah. And my computer that I've had for 16 fucking years, right? Yeah. I've had the same Mac computer.
That's just impossible to me to think of. I've run through 15 computers in the 16 years.
But these things are built to last. They're built to last. And honestly, I was like going, okay, the only reason I'm really doing it is because like they're not making software updates for the browsers anymore. Yeah. And so I'm like, I can't go forward anymore. And so I've now migrated to the new computer. It's a Mac Studio. Shout out Spo for hooking me up over there with a nice discount. And then like I was like, I can now run the show through the computer. I can do everything through the same machine now. It's fucking awesome. So it's a Mac Studio, just a little souped up. And I put 4 terabytes in that motherfucker today. So I have like 8 terabytes of storage in this bitch. Man. And like I have a terabyte that I've had for probably, I don't know, 2010. That is not even close to being filled. So I don't expect to ever fill it, but it's like, you know what? It's just nice to have. It's like, like whipping your big cock around, I got 8 terabytes.
You're a fan of doing that. I mean, what are you going to do in all that space? It's not the days where you download a bunch of pornography, or maybe you could. Hey, maybe you save it to there. I guess. And then if the internet ever goes down, you're safe. No, you got jacking material forever.
We're gonna bring back LimeWire. Loaf,
it's gonna be all in your terabyte.
Loaf, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
My friend, I'm good. But I was thinking about this. It's Josh Nelson's birthday, and we're gonna bring him on in a little bit.
Yeah,
but I wanted to ask you: are you a big birthday guy? I know you're a big spoil some other kid's birthday by sending an email to all the parents kind of guy. But are you like a big celebrate your birthday guy? Kind of where do you stand on your own personal birthday?
I don't really care. I think I've worked almost every birthday. I always worked my birthday when I had a job. So that's been 7 years.
Clarification. There you go.
I like doing the low key shit that I like doing any other day, but just like kind of not having to worry about like making sure everything's going right. Like, and we went to the game, like we went to the Sox game for my 40th, right? Like it was cool. Like it was the wife got a bunch of people together and we had like, I don't know, 35, 40 people there. Well, that was fun. Like that was cool, but it was shit I do all the time, the same thing, just different day. But I'm not a big celebrate birthday. What about you? You a big celebrate birthday guy?
First off, that birthday, that's when I caught the Yomer home run.
Yes.
That was when it bounced up to me and I made an athletic play and Treasy said how fat I looked when I was jumping. But I'm not a big birthday guy either. Here, you know what it is? I like to just do the shit I like doing on my birthday. Like you're mentioning right there. I was thinking like, here's a perfect birthday, man. Hang with family and friends for a little bit.
Yep.
Maybe do some gambling if I could. And then nice dinner out, a bottle of wine, and that's, dessert, and that's kind of it. I don't need a lot more than that, just like low key. I do, however, fucking love when everyone on Twitter is wishing me happy birthday. That makes me feel so goddamn good. I gotta be honest. That's where a little bit of vanity, like, oh, these people remember my birthday. Even if they just saw someone else wish me, like, oh shit, it's Beef's birthday, I'm gonna wish him happy birthday. Doesn't matter. I still love all that shit. I try to respond to every single person individually because it means so much to me. It feels good when, once a year people remember that you're out there. So, but otherwise, I was never like, we didn't have birthday parties when we were kids. Like Treasy and I, it was not like my parents had like 25 kids over, or we had a fucking McDonald's birthday on, party or anything like that. Well, our birthday was, here's some cake, here's some presents. Your grandparents are going to come over for a little bit, and that's your birthday. That's the birthday. Yes. So, like, I never, did you ever have like McDonald's birthday, playground birthday, or any of that shit, or not? I went to those things, but I never had one.
I think I had one McDonald's birthday, but we had a cabin, that was like a little while away. Yeah. So we used to go there when we went, like, we'd have a birthday, but then it was like, Mom made a cake in a fucking, a pan and brought it up and frosted it all shittily. Yes, and then that's what you ate, and it was like, it didn't cost them anything except for gas, and maybe some pops, and then take us up there.
It's a low-key birthday.
The one thing about the McDonald's birthday, though, was nice is they would give you the orange drink in the big cooler that you could drink out of, they would bring that over, and then they had ashtrays everywhere so you could smoke cigarettes. That was dope. My 8th birthday, I ripped a lot of heaters. Let me tell you.
I remember them birthdays as a kid. I never had one for me, but like to go to someone else's or whatever, it's like fucking McDonald's, fucking playgrounds. Like that's a solid birthday, man. One kid always puked. There was always one kid that had too much fun on the playground, fucking puked everywhere. Like those are fun birthdays. Regarding birthdays, though, like
this one pukes a lot. Right here,
right there.
Here's the puke one.
HBIC brought up in the comments. He said, "Jimmy, you don't celebrate your birthday for a whole month like some people." I was going to ask that. Like for our age group, once you get above 40, what's the longest you can celebrate your birthday? Birthday weekend is about it, right? Like you can do kind of if your birthday falls on a Friday and it's going to do shit during the weekend. Maybe you got birthday weekend, but like once you're above 40, you can't. There's no whole week, no birthday month bullshit, right?
No. Or like, oh, we're going to do this thing for my birthday a week and a half after my birthday. No, right, exactly. You're not going to do that.
Now, there's nothing wrong with your birthday's on a Tuesday, and you say, we're not doing much of anything today, but on Friday, we're going to go out and fucking do the town. Like, that's totally reasonable.
I agree with you in that case.
You're good?
I'm on Team Loaf in that regard.
Absolute rarity. My Sox Summer, why don't you go ahead and sell some cars for us, baby?
Well, let's do this.
It wasn't even November. We got dumped on by great white flakes from the sky. Cars were sliding this away and that away. The last thing you need during the holiday season is a goddamn car accident. Those things suck balls, but you can only control so much. The Mazda CX-5 earned a Top Safety Pick Plus rating from the IIHS. This award identifies the Mazda CX-5 as one of the best choices in terms of safety. Top Safety Pick Plus winners have good ratings in the driver's side, passenger side, original side, roof strength, and head restraint tests. What's more, these vehicles have an advanced or superior rating for available front crash prevention. So even in an accident, your Mazda will protect you. Visit MazdaRolandPark.com to get all the specs and details on the complete line of Mazdas. Whether you're from the Chicagoland area, Northwest Indiana, or Southeast Wisconsin, they would love to have you visit and test drive a Mazda today. Happy holidays from your friends at Mazda of Orland Park. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park. 708-444-3200. Zoom Zoom.
Oh, baby. I'd like to welcome to the stage tonight's guest. He's the host of the SoxMachine podcast and the godfather of White Sox podcasting in general. He's also squarely on the White Sox Twitter bad guy list, right between K-Dog, Matt Ramsey, and right above Treasy. Let's welcome in the birthday boy, Josh Nelson himself, to the 108 podcast. Josh, thanks for coming through on your birthday, my friend. Much love, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you to everyone. To your point, Beef, it gets a little overwhelming sometimes on Twitter. It's like, hey, you have 44 notifications. Everyone wishing you happy birthday. Usually you don't see that many notifications unless there's like this big free agent signing or big news item with the White Sox, or I have the hottest of hot takes that just pisses off people. It's been a while since I had one of those.
It has been, actually. I've been waiting.
It has been. But no, it's always nice to get the well wishes. So thank you, everyone, for wishing me a happy birthday.
Now, what's the plans for the birthday? I know you've been double duty podcasting, and I'm sorry to press you into service. You should have told us to fuck off, but you're too nice of a guy for that. You didn't. So, you got any plans for the weekend? Some things you're gonna do for your birthday, or just keep it low key?
Here's the shocking thing: I have lived in Chicago for 12 years, and I've never been to Vito and Nick's. So, damn it, I'm going to Vito and Nick's for the first time.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah!
So finally, cross that off the bucket list. No. Obviously, with the wedding, we were just in Orlando celebrating my wife Kim's birthday. Food and wine at Epcot in Disney World is a very fun experience. Got to see 38 Special. I know 3 songs from 38 Special, and they played them all. They played all the hits. I
would hope so. Holy shit.
It was a lot of fun. So that was the big birthday activity because her birthday is just 4 days earlier than mine. Next year for the 40th birthday, though, we are kind of doing it big. We're doing a Mediterranean cruise, so we're going to fly into Portugal, visit Spain. So my 40th birthday next year, I'm going to be in Nice, France for my 40th birthday. So next year, we'll do it big. But it's hard to do a birthday big on a Thursday night. It's just weekday birthdays are tough.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to kind of slide the celebration to the weekend at our age. You're not real, or you're going to keep the celebration really low key if you're doing it on the middle of the week. Our bodies just don't bounce back like they used to. You gotta take it easy. In my opinion.
Yeah, I see your wife in the comment section is already making plans to be part of that birthday trip. Be more than happy to welcome you. I'm just expecting to fly into Lisbon and be like, Mrs. Beefloaf, where's the beef? And be like, oh, I left him.
Oh, that
I didn't leave him, but I just left him home.
Yeah. That would
Bonita and beef are in Chicago. I'm going to be visiting Portugal and Spain and France. Forget those guys.
That is my wife's style. There's no doubt about it.
My Lord.
So we have you on tonight because we want to talk about the SoxMachine offseason plans. Now, they've been open for a couple weeks. You guys opened them up at the very beginning of November. So real quick, Josh, just like a summary, what is the SoxMachine offseason plan for the 108 audience that doesn't know by now? We've been doing this shit for like 3 or 4 years, you coming on and critiquing our plans. Right. But for the new listeners, what is the SoxMachine offseason plan?
So the SoxMachine offseason plan has been running for a while. When we used to run Southside Sox, when we were part of SB Nation, before moving over to SoxMachine and rebooting that site January 1st, 2018, Jim carried that activity over. And pretty much the offseason plan is that you get to play the role as the general manager and walk through the same decisions that Chris Getz had to make. Now, for those that participated early on, you had to decide on Liam Hendricks and you had to decide on Tim Anderson.
Yep. And
that's the difference if you participate right away, along with the tenders and non-tenders as well for those players that are up for arbitration. We have not had those settled yet. So that's where your decision-making with your off-season player project could be different from reality. But for those that are participating now, I understand why they want to participate, and oftentimes I do come up with a second plan. Now that guys have opted out, or Chris Getz has decided to decline club options on some players, and having a better understanding that payroll is going to be cut from last year, what's a realistic offseason plan for the White Sox? Because as you guys know, blowing smoke up everyone's asses right now in the White Sox fan base is not a good strategy, because in 24 hours you're going to do something that pisses you off. So let's not do that.
I was going to say, even being positive in a truthful manner is a no-go right now. You're not throwing tomatoes at people, man. You're out. You're on the outside.
I hear you on that one. Yes. Yeah, me being optimistic and getting tomatoes thrown at me. That's how bad things have gotten with the White Sox fan base. But that's why now, if you haven't participated, it is a good time to participate, just to get a better understanding realistically what the White Sox could do, and it could help settle expectations. The White Sox have to make a lot of moves. They have to be busy this offseason to just complete a 26-man roster. But the level of those moves And that's what this episode's all about. Like, how far are you guys willing to go spending Jerry's money, and how would you spend it better than recent unemployed executives Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams spent during their tenure with the White Sox? That's what's been fascinating, interesting, reading everyone's offseason plans.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's like you mentioned, it's a team ripe for a lot of transactions. Probably not big spending on a lot of transactions, but a lot of movement, because you have just like the remaining rot of what was the last core of the team. Everything's kind of been stripped away. There's a handful of usable parts, maybe a few young guys you might let stick around and talk about. Any trends coming through so far in the plans that have been done? You've got 2 weeks behind you of plans that are coming through. I've been reading as many as I can. What are some trends you're seeing from people who are submitting their plans?
I think, one, there's so many that have started the process, and you could tell while reading that they just stopped the process. Like halfway.
Sure.
Like,
I wanted to stop today. Especially when we got to that whole starting pitcher thing. I was like, I don't even really want to do this right now.
You're right. Like, wow, this is a lot more work than I was expecting. And I think one theme that I'm noticing is that even though we gave $185 million payroll budget, there are many White Sox fans that are like, it's not even worth spending Jerry's money this season. Like, we just don't see a feasible route, especially with what type of contracts he's willing to approve, what types of players the White Sox like to sign, at least in the past. Like, there just doesn't seem to be a viable direction to make 2024 a contending year for the Chicago White Sox. So I think that's one trend, which is, I'm not going to say it's a half-ass approach, but it's like, don't go all in. More money comes off the books in 2025. There's this guy named Juan Soto who becomes a free agent next year. Try to shed some payroll, admit that 2024 is going to be another losing season, and try to right the ship next year, maybe with a new manager and a year under a new general manager, Chris gets his belt. So that's one trend that I have seen. Another trend is trading Dylan Cease, or trying to figure out a way to optimize a return for Dylan Cease. And everyone, for those that are spending money, the vast majority of money is being spent on starting pitching with offseason plans because of just how poor the position player group is in this free agency class.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's a spot where you can spend a lot, and the White Sox have a ton of spots open up, so it does kind of make sense there. And you're right. Once you get off the top couple position player free agents, we'll exclude Ohtani. Even once you get past Ohtani, the upper end of the group is a little risky to begin with. The Cody Bellingers of the world are a little risky. They're coming off of like 2 real bad years and then a good year this year. So it's like, we're going to have to spend a lot of money, a 9-figure deal, but we're not sure about this guy. So it does make sense, not only from the way our White Sox operate, which is extremely cheap, but also just the general tenor of the free agents that are out there at this point.
Yes. And now if you're participating, you know what the answer is with Tim Anderson. He's not back. So if you're participating now in the SoxMachine offseason player project, you have to figure out a solution at shortstop. And it is the worst free agent market in history of free agency in Major League Baseball for middle infielders. So the options are not great in trying to find a replacement for Tim Anderson.
There's like 2 guys that are under 35 that are available for shortstop. Like 2 dudes.
It's shortstop, a little bit of a young man's position, so it's kind of just a little.
Even Longoria's out there, and he's 38 years old. It's like, who the fuck is signing this guy? They're not signing this guy. I mean, I know he just played in the World Series, but Christ almighty, please. The man's going to be 39 by the end of next season. No.
Hey, what do you got against 39-year-olds?
Out there playing? Exactly.
Man, oh, God.
Man. I joined your show on my birthday. Throwing shit at me already.
My sex number is almost 50. Don't worry about it.
I'm very close to 50.
One last question sort of about trends. And as I mentioned before, White Sox fans are fucking pissed right now about basically anything that comes through the waiver wire. And as Billy Wires mentions, and rightfully so, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not trying to stop anyone's ire. Get as pissed as you want. But have you, Josh, have you noticed a difference in the amount of people submitting plans this year over prior years? Is it less than it has been? Or is like the core group still kind of coming through and people are putting their plans in because they're just interested to see what's going to happen?
The last count, the last milestone was 50. So it's not as crazy as it was going into 2021 and even going to 2022. There was a lot. Oh my gosh. There were so many offseason plans after the COVID season because everyone was just excited. White Sox finally made the playoffs. Let's go crazy. Let's build a team that can win the World Series. After 2021, they made it to the postseason again. It's clear they have to beat the Houston Astros. So let's come up with creative ideas that Rick Hahn is going to completely ignore. And let's just continue adding to the bullpen. A little bit on the downside after last year. We're at 50 now. I'm imagining we'll get to 100 offseason plans on SoxMachine.com, but that would be down from a couple of years ago where, again, there's just so much excitement trying to build a roster that could realistically win the World Series. And obviously during the rebuild days as well, those were fun times to do off-season plan projects as well as like trying to come up with dream trade scenarios, which I'm afraid to look back at those plans of who I was trying to acquire in prospect trades back in the day. I'd just be embarrassed and be like, this guy sucks. This guy sucks. Like none of these guys panned out. Like, 3 top 100 prospects never played in the majors. So that's why
I feel bad about being puffy chested about Rick Hahn's decisions when all your trades
exactly.
been around. Yeah, it makes sense. Let's get to this drink.
Exactly.
Let's get this drink from Baloney. Baloney says, this new MSS setup is a long con to be able to podcast while looking at porn. Not fooling anyone. Also, happy birthday, Josh. Thank you, Baloney. Appreciate you.
I have a 32-inch screen now, so I can definitely have some pornography over there that would normally be on my phone. It will be up there for me to look at. So.
Don't give away all the
good to go.
Isn't Apple coming out with that headset that puts you in the room?
I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big. I mean, listen. I like Apple products, but like I don't buy all Apple. I like their machines. I'm not going to get the thing. I just got to.
He's thrifty.
No,
Josh,
no.
You know that he's thrifty.
I've always liked the computers. The computers have always been great. I'm not into all this. It took me a really long time to get an iPhone. Like, I mean, I got an iPhone just this last one before the Titanium, the 14. Like that was the first time I ever got an iPhone. So I let them perfect it before I get there. Like I'm not Apple IIe like I was back in the day. Like I let them get it right and then I come back. So
you're not an early.
But that was the big Apple product though they announced last year, right? It's the wearable. It's the headset that if you record videos using the headset, it gives you the perception when you're looking through the visor that you're in the room, or the video is played like you're in the room. It's like some Marvel Tony Stark type of technology, and
damn,
I figured that would be better way to view adult entertainment than your 32-inch screen.
Oh yeah, VR porn, sure, yeah, that's probably really great.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. You might get caught. Like, see, Missy knows. She was there.
You said you're pretending you don't know what it is. That's what
I mean, I know about VR porn. I don't know about the headset.
What he's saying is he hasn't seen the headset at the flea market. Okay,
I've just seen those videos online. Like, I can't do that.
Behind the McDonald's on Ashland, right? Like,
yeah, that's exactly
44th. Is that where you're going for your
right
technology shopping?
All right, let's get into plan number 1. I'll go first. Fuck you, my sex hour. Yeah, and Josh will be judging. Well, I'll let you start judging me harshly when we get to the free agents, Josh. But just to kick it off, the tender, non-tender, I put it up on the YouTube screen for the podcast listeners at home. Dylan Cease, I will tender a contract to Andrew Vaughn, Michael Kopech, Tuki Toussaint. They can all stay, as far as I'm concerned. This is a tough one because I know he's a personal favorite of yours, Josh, but Trace Thompson's out on his ass. Garrett Crochet, I'm tendering a contract. And then Clint Frazier, who we kind of rooted for a little bit. He looked like he had 4 or 5 good at-bats, and then he was no good. He's out of here. And then Matt Foster's injured, so I hate to do this to him, but I'm kicking him out of here, too. He's going to be non-tendered. As you mentioned, the options are basically already decided, so Tim's options declined. I actually did a video about this at From the 108 YouTube channel. You can check out. Liam Hendricks decline. Treasy did a video about that. You can check out. He explained a creative way to bring him back on the roster, which they haven't done yet. Mike Clevenger, I'm buying him out. And then I'm letting go of pending free agents, Yasmani Grandal and Jose Urena. And I'm gonna retain Elvis Andrus and Brian Shaw. We'll get to them in a little bit. Just trying to fill out my roster. I like to fill out my roster with a little bit of depth. So free agents first. We'll go first with my position player free agents. I'll put them on the board right now. We need a catcher, so I'm signing Victor Caratini for 2 years and $12 million. He's not great at anything, but he's okay at lots of stuff. He does have a decent on-base percentage for his career. 318, and he was 327 last year. And so I just feel like the White Sox need at least one catcher who can actually do something on some side of the ball. I'm also signing Rhys Hopkins for 3 years and $45 million. The White Sox just didn't hit enough home runs last year. And I understand they want to improve their defense, but they're going to have to go with a few guys that aren't Tommy Mansky approved at certain spots, and so Hoskins is going to be one of them. Teoscar Hernandez, I'm signing him for 3 years and $39 million to play right field. Again, a ton of power, a lot of strikeouts. And then last but not least, the position players, Elvis Andrus for 1 year and $3 million. Just I need the stability on my roster. Josh, the position player free agents?
Like Caratini, that's a good signing. The White Sox could definitely use help at catcher because I don't trust Corey Lee and his ability to hit Major League pitching.
Teresa's in the comments. Everyone drink, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Can't be on the show, but he can be in the comments. Thanks, bud.
This is all terrible, he says. I assume he means the show, not my free agent pick.
Why not
Rhys
both?
Hoskins, I think 3 years could be a little much for a first baseman. I could see it like a 1 year, $15 million, like a CJ Cron type of signing, which I know you and I have spoken about in the past.
Yeah,
that,
I like that.
For first baseman, I like Peter Alonso. And there are not a lot of hitters in this league that could hit 40 to 50 home runs consistently.
Right.
But first basemen have to be able to field and hit at a level like Freddie Freeman does to merit huge amounts of money these days.
For sure.
Just because of their overall value. So 3 years, $45 million would be a little rich for my blood for Rhys Hoskins, but I totally see where you're coming from. I think the Teoscar Hernandez signing, like that contract offer, that's where I think his camp would laugh at you. From what I am understanding and what other people are writing, I don't know, people may disagree with this, but Teoscar Hernandez is seeking like more than $50 million in guaranteed money. So would you be good with 3 years, $50 million for Teoscar Hernandez? And
I wouldn't. That's like a 30% strikeout rate already. Like, I don't know where it's going. It might go somewhere far.
Sounds like a White Sox player already. But I will say about Hernandez, while that is probably a 240 batting average, 290 on base percentage, you do have a chance to have a 450 slugging or better right fielder who could hit 25 to 30 home runs. Yep. So it's all about reality and difference of opinion on what Hernandez is seeking and what teams are willing to spend on. And if Elvis Andrus is willing to sign for $3 million and come back, I'm totally with you, Beef. Like, yeah. I feel like that is realistic to bring him back into the fold. Everyone seemed to gravitate towards Andrus, and Andrus would gravitate to those players in the clubhouse that needed someone to walk through some of the messes that they got into, especially the rookies like Oscar Colas. You didn't see Pedro Grifol putting his arm around Colas and telling him what he did wrong because Grifol hates Oscar Colas.
Yes, he does.
But it was Elvis Andrus that was there. And I still think Andrus could be a viable bench player, but let's see if he's actually interested in coming back to the White Sox. But if he is for $3 million, I think that's fine. So I like your targets. My only qualm is the amount of years to Hoskins and the difference between what Hernandez thinks that he should be getting and what Major League Baseball actually thinks he should be getting. You might be more right, closer to being right in what he signs for, Beef, but instead of 3 years, it might be like, oh, maybe it's 2 years. I don't know. It's a big difference of opinion right now, what Hernandez thinks he should sign for and what Major League Baseball values him.
Yeah, and I guess I can see it, right? You know, in this free agent market too, it's a little bit light. He's one of the few big power hitters. It kind of makes sense. With Andrews, Andrews played hard all the way. I mean, we would say it in the stands. Like, the guy's still out there playing hard. He's 34 years old. This team stinks.
Old as hell, too.
Yeah, exactly. And he's still out there hustling his ass off. So, you're right. Maybe he finds a better offer, and hopefully he does. Hopefully he finds greener pastures and is not stuck here with us. But if he is, I would love to give him $3 million and make him my utility man.
The part I don't like so much is that you're fucking getting a goddamn DH and you're going to give him a shitload of money, and we got plenty of guys that they can only try to hit in DH.
This is where I'm being patient, my Sox summer, because if you're signing Rhys Hoskins, you got to trade baked here. So that's why I'm trying to be patient to see who he's unloading.
All right, let's go with the free agent pitchers next. And so I went with your guy, who I don't really like, but I was thinking about him more. It was like Sean Manaea, 2 years, $24 million. The reason I'm picking him is he pitched in so many different roles last year. He was willing to like float around and like be a reliever, 1 inning, multi-inning. He started games or whatever. And I think kind of the White Sox need a guy like that. Their whole rotation, their whole 13 pitchers are going to be in flux all year. So I thought, well, why don't we grab a guy who is used to doing all that crap, and we can kind of move him around. We have a few guys like that who can slide into long man, be starters, whatever. So he became more appetizing, and not to mention he's worked with Brian Bannister. So I kind of thought, okay, there's a nice easy fit for Brian. My next starting pitcher is Luis Severino, 1 year, $10 million. Look, Severino 5 years ago was on his way to stardom. He's had all kinds of problems since, injuries and just ineffectiveness or whatever. He's the type of guy, in my opinion, that's probably only signing a 1 year deal and is looking to rebuild his value. So maybe we, catch lightning in a bottle. And then my last starting pitcher pick, Kirk says, "Oh God, this pitching's awful." Yeah, that's correct. And then my last guy is Frankie Montas, 1 year, $4 million, with an option for year 2, either a $1 million buyout or $12 million in year 2. I assume like he's either rebuilding his value or he's going to Korea to pitch. His shoulder was screwed, but he did make it back at the end of the year to pitch an inning. So this is like a total lottery ticket, bringing in a guy. And then Severino in rehab. No, I think he's off the booze. Last guy is Brian Shaw for 1 year and $1.5 million. And really the only reason I want to bring back Brian Shaw is that so I can use this meme almost every day. Because I know Pedro Grifol is going to pitch this guy all the damn time. So, yes. Josh, what do you think about my free agent pitchers that I'm bringing in?
So Manaea was a curious opt-out. Like, from his perspective, and it kind of harkens back to the conversations we had last year about A.J. Pollock, why would you opt out, Sean? Like, I don't know if any team's going to give you more money to pitch. And I just think that he didn't like being jerked around by the San Francisco Giants. Am I a starter? Am I a reliever? He thinks he's a starter, so he wants to go sign with a team that'll allow him to be a starting pitcher. I think you have the years and money right on the money with Sean Manaea. I think that's what he'll end up signing, like a 2 year, $24 million contract. But he wants to be a starting pitcher, and boy, do the White Sox have availabilities in their rotation. So
we got a lot of starts for you, son.
Yeah, I like that. I like that direction. Luis Severino seems like a reclamation project right up the White Sox wheelhouse. I mean, man, watch out, American League Central. Dylan Cease, Sean Manaea, Luis Severino, Frankie Montas, Touki Toussaint. Let's go. We're going to win this division. 2 guys are going to pitch over 100 innings, and one of them is Dylan Cease before he gets traded. I don't know who you're going to have. You're going to have a lot of Nick Destrini, Jake Eater starts.
I was going to say, Josh, this is going to be a roster where you got 15 to 20 different starting pitchers make starts. Like, this is the way I'm looking at the White Sox. Like, so I bought a lot on the position player side to, like, shore up a reasonable position player. Like, so it's, okay, this is maybe could be a league average offense. And the defense improves and everything. The pitching is an atrocity, and it's going to continue to be as we finish up this plan.
Earn your paycheck, Brian.
Yeah, exactly. Basically true.
All right.
Now the trades. I'll pull these up. Trade number 1, and you guys foreshadowed it. You got to get rid of one of the movable objects. So I'm trading Andrew. I'm kind of stealing this trade from our Trade with Every Team blogs that Teresi did. I added a little bit to it. I'm trading Andrew Vaughn and Lenyn Sosa to San Diego for Jake Cronenworth and Corey Howell. Cronenworth would immediately be the White Sox second baseman, and he'd be 50 times better than anyone we've had in like 2 decades. He's currently playing first base, or was for San Diego. Vaughn's kind of a better fit to do that. They save some money here. We'll give him Lenyn Sosa as like a shifty guy who they could use a utility man over there. And I'm taking Corey Howell. Corey Howell is like a 70 glove in the outfield. I'm not sure he'll never hit enough. So this is just like me replacing Adam Engel on our roster because we always yearn for Adam Engel. Trade number 2 is me sending Ryan Burroughs, who's a farmhand with the White Sox, to Tampa to steal some guys that are Rule 5 eligible that could potentially help the White Sox in the near future. And that's starting pitcher Ian Seymour and outfielder Cameron Misner. Seymour's a lefty, good changeup, probably needs some more seasoning, maybe another year in the minors. So he needs Rule 5. He needs 40-man protection. He needs to be down for a while. Misner can already handle right field just fine. He strikes out a ton, lots and lots of power. That was kind of a theme in our trade with every team blogs. And then trade number 3, yes, everyone is trying to trade Dylan Cease. Josh, I'm trading him to Baltimore for Joey Ortiz, shortstop, Dylan Beavers, right fielder, and Trace Bright, starting pitcher. Ortiz becomes my starting shortstop, and my shortstop of the future, very glove first, speed, put the bat on the ball, but not a lot of power kind of guy. The trades, what do you think?
So the Tampa trade is interesting because everybody knows that the Rays covet middle infielders. That is who they want, and they have so much depth up the middle, and rightfully so because they do such a great job being able to develop these guys to play multiple positions, unlike the Chicago White Sox do. So the Cameron Misner is interesting because covering the MLB draft, I have quite a bit of content when Misner was at Missouri University. And his profile hasn't changed since college. Way too many strikeouts, but boy, when he does make contact with the ball, it's loud contact. It's just a matter of how often does he make contact. So he sounds like he's a Chicago White Sox already.
Yeah.
The Dylan Cease trade to Baltimore. Like, Baltimore makes a ton of sense as a trade partner when you look at it on a paper, but the way that Baltimore is operating, especially with their front office, it seems like they don't want to trade away from their position player depth, which is odd to me. But the 2 guys that you identified in Ortiz and Beavers, they're blocked.
Right.
They're not better in who Baltimore either has already in the major league level, super young, or ready to come from Norfolk, their AAA affiliate, to play every day in Baltimore. So they're blocked. So I think you guys did a good job of identifying really good position player talent that would have an opportunity with the Chicago White Sox, like this Nick Nastrini path. Since he's joined the White Sox, what's the benefit of being part of the White Sox? Job opportunity. I didn't have that with the Dodgers. The Dodgers fixed me, and the Dodgers gave me my love back for the game of baseball, but the Dodgers didn't have a job for me in the major leagues. The White Sox do. Joey Ortiz and Dylan Beavers probably do not have jobs with the Baltimore Orioles, but they would definitely have jobs with the Chicago White Sox. And even if Colson Montgomery does pan out and he develops better defensively, you could always move Ortiz over to second base. So I like the types of players that you guys have identified in your trades.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. So I got some feedback on the internet about that trade because all 3 of these trades were in our White Sox trade with every team plans. The Cease one, some people thought was like a little bit light. Like, because it doesn't have like the high-end star, because Ortiz is, a glove first guy. Like, he's probably a 2-win player tomorrow in the majors, right? But he doesn't have like the real high upside that some of these guys have. I'm just saying that trade might be a little bit light. But to me, it fills 2 needs kind of immediately. And Beavers isn't major league ready yet, but he's close. Like, he's getting there. And so, like, I don't know. I hope the White Sox go on a path where they're filling spots that are like, not only do they get a good player, but they fill a spot that like we could really use, kind of in short order. So my roster. And I'm not going to read every single position on there. But I'll tell you what, Josh.
Yeah, I'm going straight to the starting rotation. I'm going to stop you where you're at.
Go ahead.
You're selling a starting rotation of Frankie Montas. That's 5 starts.
Oh, my God.
Luis Severino might be 15 starts. Sean Manaea, Michael Kopech, Tuki Tucson. This on paper might be the worst starting rotation I have ever seen in Major League Baseball history. And I couldn't name you more than 2 of the Oakland A's starters from last year.
Oh yeah,
that is a dumpster fire of a starting rotation.
Look at that again.
Like, I just,
But
Josh, for all those on my ass for years about, well, I think Garrett Crochet should be developed as a starting pitcher. He's gonna kind of be if this was the real team. Crochet's gonna make 40 appearances. He's gonna pitch 3 innings in every one of these appearances. He's going to reach 120 innings pitched. It'll be August 20th, and then he'll have his 3rd Tommy John surgery. But you know what? Brian Shaw's good for 150 innings, so that might be your best free agent signing.
He'll save me, right?
The offense, so what are we doing here? So Hoskins, so you traded Vaughn, so Hoskins is your first baseman.
His first, yeah, that's right.
Ideal size at first base, nice.
Yeah, big boy.
Cronenworth and Ortiz. Up the middle.
Yep.
So defensively, you're a lot better. Makata, if he stays on the field. I don't hate the infield. Yep. The outfield, center and right field could be entertaining offensively. I don't know what to make of Andrew Benintendi.
I mean,
your bench is fine. Yeah, Gavin Sheets will be on the roster. Why? Because he's cheap.
Yeah, I kind of looked at it. I was like, I piled up right-handed hitters, and I'm like, okay, I guess I still have a use for him because he hits from the other side. But I was trying to look for ways to get to just like launch him out of here. Like I launched Jimmy Lambert off the 40-man here. I have the whole 40-man roster. I'm like,
yeah, I see that.
Gone. We got to start getting rid of some people.
Home.
I almost, Josh, I like to do this every time when I put it together. I almost forgot about Oscar Colas. He wasn't in the 40-man. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot this guy's in there. I just threw him out, but I loaded him back in for now.
I think, have made the position player side a lot better for the White Sox. This could be a league average defensive team, which is a huge boost to help with the run prevention. But your starting pitching is so bad that I don't think it matters. Even if healthy, I don't know, man. I hope that lineup hits like the 2000 Chicago White Sox because they're going to have to. That rotation might give up 700 runs by themselves. The best ERA is going to be like 4.8, right?
not
James
good.
Baldwin leading the 2000 White Sox. What was it? James Baldwin, Mike Soroka, Jim Parquet. Was it Cal Aldred? Part of that rotation too, there's some high ERAs of the early 2000s White Sox. Nobody cared about the pitching because they could hit. So
yeah. When you score 900 and whatever it is, 980 runs or whatever they scored that year, you don't worry about it. There's not even much of a bullpen to speak of here either, Josh. I didn't spend much on the bullpen either. What you could go in the direction of cheapening out on a couple positions and beefing up the starting pitching. I don't know. I just would rather watch an offense that's not as terrible as the one we watched last year. And that's just my personal preference.
As we have learned in recent years, the White Sox haven't learned this lesson, but other teams have. You can rebuild a bullpen on the fly. If your team is worth the damn in late July and you're in the postseason race, you could rebuild that bullpen. So what I like about your plan is you, I think, found creative ways to, one, make the defense a lot better in a position player front, but two, the offense should be better than it was in 2023. And for me as well, that's a big sticking point that I don't think the current White Sox regime is understanding. You did not score enough runs last year, so please do not try to sell. We're going to be more athletic, and that's suddenly going to generate more runs. That's not always the case. Right. So I like what you did there. You made the position players better. So that's what I like about your plan, Beef. Again, the starting rotation. Yikes.
All right, MSS, you are up, my friend. Go ahead.
Man, Josh, get ready to be disappointed for your birthday.
TJ McFarland, let's go.
Not in there, but
what?
Getting there.
What kind of cousin-in-law are you?
Well, I don't know if he's going to do it again this year. We'll see. He wasn't on the free agent list because he ended in the minors. So, I just don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. All right. So I don't have any fancy graphics.
Shocker.
Arbitration guys. Cease tendered, Vaughn tendered, Kopech tendered, Tukey tendered, Trace Thompson, I guess he's your good buddy. He is non-tendered. See you later. Garrett Crochet, why not? It's cheap. Take him. Clint Frazier, I was all in. You could have him. No, he got non-tendered, so because he's no longer on the team. Matt Foster, I did not know he was hurt, but I like his Foster the People for the Players Weekend, so he is tendered, and he's only $740K. That's at least a blog post for one of the 27 White Sox blogs. So we're good with that, and it's cheap. It's a cheap pickup. Club options, obviously Tim Anderson, 1 million, and then Hendricks, the buyout also. Clevenger, adios. He didn't want to play here, and I don't blame him, and I wouldn't want him here anyway. So piss off. There's 4 million. Free agents, Yaz, see ya. Elvis, retain, sign, hopefully try to get him for 3 million too. I think that's a good deal for him, much for the same reasons that Loaf said, but also because we need somebody that can play that position in our park, and he's done it, so we might as well just go with something that's cheap and available. Brian Shaw, also retain. The man seems to want to pitch a lot, plus he has an incredible back tattoo. Jose Urena, don't know who that is. See you later.
Fair.
Now I will start. Okay. I have everything, of course, is not as organized as Loaf because I didn't do 15 videos on like trading with every team. First guy that popped up as a free agent to sign, and it's a utility guy. It is Michael Chavez. 1 year, $900,000. He is a guy poised to make a dead cat bounce because he has just been horrible. And he had a lot of promise and has never delivered on that promise. And this might be his last year, according to some websites that I read, that he could play in the MLB before he goes overseas. So he might be really trying hard to make it happen. You know, he's going to be the rated R guy out there on that field, not the guy in the PG-13 movie. So we're going to hope that he can do that. Now, he also is a good infield guy. He can play all the positions, and Lord knows we fucking need that guy because everyone is going to be hurt. So we need a guy. Plus, he's goofy. He's like 5'10". He's got weird hair like mine. I don't know. I can relate. I'm like, you know what? He's going to be serviceable. He won't be good, but he'll be serviceable. So that's my first one.
Great sales pitch.
Yep. Now, I will go to you know what? I'm just going to go with position players. I also had Teoscar Hernandez. I was a little bit closer to what you guys are thinking. I did 2 years, 30 million. So that would have been 3 years, 45. So instead of 3 years, so we getting closer to the 50, but not obviously there. I also didn't think it was a very sexy deal. He's not like, oh, look at this flashy guy out there. So the money is a little weird, but he does work. He played in 160 games last year, and he hit 26 home runs, which is that's great. And that's right field, and we've never had anybody there. So it would be nice to see somebody there. Already mentioned Elvis. So he's already signed for 3 million. I am going to see if this happens. I was initially out. I was like, this is probably not going to happen. And then seeing some of his comments recently about being a shortstop or a second baseman, we're signing Tim Anderson back. We're going to give him the road on. We're going to give him 1 year, 8 million. He's going to play second, and we're going to see how it goes. Now, having Elvis playing short and him playing second directly out, I don't know how that's going to go, but it might be enough of a shakeup to get TA interested again. But giving him only 1 year might motivate him even more to be like, I need to go out and prove myself. Now, I think that another team is going to give Tim a multi-year deal. But if we can do it, this is what I would like to see. So we'll see. I have my last guy. I have Paul DeJong. Is it DeJong? Is that right? I think it's DeJong. DeJong. 1 year, 3 million. Again, not sexy, not a sexy pick, but also doesn't have a negative WAR in 23, which is it's a lot. This says a lot in these guys.
That's huge for a White Sox player.
Yeah, play shortstop or second. It's nice not having a negative WAR. So coming off a 6-year contract and having a bad numbers year going into 23, but he stays healthy. He played 112 games in 23, which we could use as a nice little utility backup guy. So that's those are my utility, or those are my position players that I'm going to sign.
So Paul DeJong, we heard at SoxMachine, the White Sox had already contacted and spoken with DeJong's agent. The plan was for the White Sox to meet with Paul DeJong at the general manager meetings, and then the norovirus happened. So reaching back to our source, they're not sure if the White Sox and DeJong actually met before they canceled the rest of the GM meetings. But from what we have heard, Paul DeJong is a target by the White Sox to help out in the middle of the infield. One big reason is that Paul DeJong is a far better defensive shortstop than Tim Anderson has been the last couple of years. And even though he has a really bad OPS, I mean, that's a blog, right? Terrible batting average, doesn't get on base, but he hit 14 homers last year. And he'll have these like weird weeks where he hits like 3 homers in a week and everyone hops on the DeJong train and thinking that this guy could be something. That is 13 more homers than Tim Anderson hit last year. So a little bit of power, some defense. I understand where the White Sox are coming from, and DeJong could also move around the infield. So it does sound like, to your point, what you're doing here, my Sox summer, bringing back Tim Anderson, bringing back Elvis Andrus, having Paul DeJong. This is the type of strategy the White Sox are going into this season for their plan A, is to find veterans to hold down the fort until Colson Montgomery pushes them out of position. And Montgomery will do that by continuing to hit, but also proving the doubters wrong about his defense at short. That's the big hurdle right now. Everyone that makes content for the White Sox, whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, we need to stop with is Colson Montgomery going to be the starting shortstop on opening day for the Chicago White Sox? You clearly did not watch the 2023 season. We clearly just went through this with Oscar Colas. People got fired that we thought we would never see them get fired for this type of decision making. So that's my PSA for your guys' show. Let's stop that. He's not.
We talked about it on the last podcast where gets this whole press conference for an hour. He basically said to simmer down, and everyone except for like Nastrini, who would have a shot at making the roster, he would say, I don't want to put a cap on anyone, but yeah, Colson's probably starting at AAA. Like it's like he kind of told you that. He told you Oscar Colas was not ready. We didn't think he was ready. Some people thought he was ready. Maybe. I think they're going to be very slow with a lot of these guys.
They should.
So with your position players that you selected, my Sox summer, Teoscar Hernandez, the more I think about it, I think you and Beef are right. It is a realistic option for the White Sox to address right field, and I'm sure Hernandez will get a huge banner outside of guarantee right field, and maybe he ends up being the big free agent signing for the White Sox. So I think, even though people will slam your offseason plan project, my Sox summer, your strategy with the middle infield might be closer and more aligned to what the White Sox are actually thinking than what White Sox fans would want them to handle the middle infield. Whereas I think White Sox fans would rather see what Beefloaf did in addressing the middle infield option by acquiring a highly touted prospect in the AAA level that just needs a shot in the major leagues that is blocked by a team that has a really good middle infield. So I think you're closer to reality, my Sox summer, for the situation the White Sox are in. All right, so
it's also a cost-effective measure, but also a lot of guys with upsides, like a lot of big upsides.
Let's be careful with that word. I'm not so sure about upside. Let's go with guys that may not embarrass themselves on a Major League Baseball diamond.
Still very good. They won't embarrass themselves like this, right?
There you go. That was your reaction, Josh.
Yes. Great picture. Great picture.
Josh is
picture.
singing something from Aladdin, and Wally is fingering his leg. You know, that's in Toronto. That's legal
That's
up
an
there.
action shot. That was
legal.
It is legal up there. Very legal.
Do that.
They don't want to forget.
Great image. Great image. What a great night that was. So you spent very little on the position player front. So all right, how are you fixing the White Sox pitching?
Okay, so first guy that I'm picking up, Jack Flaherty, 2 years, $20 million.
We're off to a great start.
He had 8 wins with 2 teams in 2023. He can handle adversity, and that's what we're going to be facing in 2024. 8 wins places him second in W's on our team in 2023. So what the fuck is that?
We could do balloons now in StreamYard? What the hell?
I have no idea
what that was.
We don't even know. I got thumbed up the other day. Now I just got ballooned. This is
Damn.
I did not do that.
I don't know what is. You know what your brother's doing this. Your brother's doing this right now.
This new computer that you got, man.
I know, it's amazing. All right, I'm not high because I saw those too. I was like, "What is this?" So no, but yeah, he's won 8. He's had 8 wins last year. I initially saw TOT, which was total, and thought it was Toronto, and I was like, "This motherfucker got 15 wins last year. We are signing this guy," And then I was like, "No, that's total between the 2 teams, not 3 teams." All right, second pitcher that I'm picking up, Alex Wood, 1 year, $10 million. He is only 7 years removed from being an all-star. So let's let this Bannister come back and work on his guy into his new system, and hoping for another bounce back, because that's what we have to look forward to. He's removed, hoping for a bounce back, 1 year removed from pitching 130 innings. He is a good back of the end of the rotation guy. I mean, it's easy.
Yeah.
Now, you were wondering where my vanity pick is coming in, and it's happening right now. We're going to sign Jacob Junis, 1 year, $2 million. He is not my TJ McFarland pick for 24. I want to see a hometown guy. He's from Rock Falls, Illinois, just right across the bridge from Sterling. I want to see him on a Sox, and I mean, he's a guy who actually saw success with Bannister also when they were in San Francisco. And then I use the term success, kind of loosely, but he did better there than he has, previously in some looks. So he's looking like a good replacement for a long relief pitcher. Like we had in the Lopez or whatever for those years. We need that guy. So yeah, Jake Junis, come on down, because I want to buy your jersey. I feel like he can eat those innings. And those are my pitchers that I'm signing.
Okay. So Jack Flaherty needs a bounce back, and the bounce back is definitely with velocity. So I can understand where you're coming from, bringing in someone like Brian Bannister and having him work with Ethan Katz. Can they gain a couple ticks on his fastball velocity? Because I think in Baltimore, in some games, he was just throwing 90 miles per hour. And for those that love nerdy discussions for baseball, we definitely go down the rabbit hole in the SoxMachine podcast. Righties who throw that little of speed and depend on their fastball, especially the four-seamer, get hit hard. And that's my concern with Jack Flaherty. But I can understand the direction that you're going with what the White Sox have with Bannister and Ethan Katz in the fold. Alex Wood, I'm almost to the point of just saying book it. He's going to be on the White Sox, right?
The reason MSS put him in there, he probably saw him walking around Armour Park. That's why he threw him on there. Like,
we went to Mortar Dogs together.
Yeah. Wood just feels like a White Sox pitcher now, especially with Bannister in the fold. Can a Jacob Junis and Tim Anderson coexist in the same clubhouse?
Woo! That'd be fun.
Sure. Yeah. I get where you're coming from. If Anderson does not return, let's say Anderson does sign in Anaheim with the Angels, I do think your idea has merit, my Sox Summer, and bringing somebody in like Jacob Junis, in which he then becomes your swing man. And that's a better swing man option than Jesse Schulten's.
Yeah.
So I do like where you're coming from. I am assuming Michael Kopech's a starting pitcher in your opinion.
We'll get to that. Yep. But
okay.
Yes. Yep.
So
I don't have any trades. So
Did you make any trades?
No.
Okay. So walk me through your starting rotation.
So here's my starting. All right, my starting rotation. We're gonna have Cease at the 1, Wood at the 2, Flaherty at 3. Now, this is where it's gonna get funny. Now we got Tukey. I feel like could be a 4th starter, like for this coming year. And then the 5th, it's either gonna be Schultens or it's gonna be Kopech. So those are the 2 that I was looking at to balance out that 5th spot. It's just gonna kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, your starting rotation invites the conversation when we are covering the team in spring training. Can Nick Nastrini break with the club on opening day? Out of those available options, if I were a betting man or an odds maker, I'd give it plus 110 between Kopech and Schulten's beef with Nastrini.
Yeah.
It would have to really depend on what Bannister thinks of Kopech and how Kopech looks in spring training and what his role is. I think Kopech's going to be in the bullpen for the White Sox. So that's why when I look at your plan, my Sox summer, and I jot it down, I'm thinking you're starting pitcher short, but if you are going to have Kopech in the starting rotation, I understand where you're coming from.
Now, I also I can go through my starting
Sure.
around the field. Vaughn at first, you're gonna have at second TA or Elvis, shortstop DeYoung or Elvis. Third is Mancada, catcher Corey Lee, Benintendi in left, center field is Robert, right field is Hernandez, DH Eloy and Sheets. Backups, you got Sheets, Elvis, Perez, and Chavez. The relief pitching, figure out Banks, Foster, Crochet, Lambert, and Santos. Now, I went in and I did like the numbers, and then I fucked it up because Loaf was like, "You gotta pay this guy more money," and so this isn't 100% correct, but I feel like I'm at like 17 million left, 17.5 million left, but it might be less than that. But I thought that could be saved for like All-Star, right before trade deadline, All-Star break. If somebody doesn't, flush out, or somebody goes into spring training kind of unsigned, and we just pick them like a Johnny Cueto, type deal. Like we're just doing some wheeling and dealing there. And then, you guys kind of said it when you're talking about loaves too. You can also save this money. Payroll's coming off, and you could sign it, next year too. And then you just don't have a contract, for anybody else going in there. But it's not bad to have money, and then we can use it. And then I also, who knows? But I think somewhere around like 17 million, I think I have left over.
So I'm not trying to be an ass, but the team that you just built, my Sox summer, is going 57 and 105. Yeah. So don't worry about that extra cash for the trade deadline. You're going to be saving more money with the way that this team is built. The reason is just, You can't count on some of these position players other than Teoscar Hernandez. A, perform at a high level for an extended period of time. B, stay healthy. There is obviously with Tim Anderson, there's a health issue. Andrews and Dion, we've talked about it. They could disappear for months on end. Right. And then you're really hoping that Colson Montgomery's fine. But at that point, when you call up Colson Montgomery, you're just looking ahead to 2025. The starting rotation, other than Dylan Cease, is the only guy that I think you could have confidence is going to pitch more than 125 innings for you. Yeah. It is relying on a lot of Nick Nastrini and Jake Eater, which I think we're going to see both of those guys anyways in 2024. Both of them may have to make 10 starts just to get through the season. What I don't like about your plan is that it is realistic. What I like about your plan, this is what it realistically looks like for the White Sox. And this is where White Sox fans listening and watching to this now are going to be continuing to ask us, why am I even bothering for 2024? You're telling me the best they're going to do is bring in Teoscar Hernandez and Jack Flaherty and Alex Wood? Like, really? That's the best they're going to do? Yeah. And Jake Junis, he'll get his own banner too outside the stadium. Let's not forget about Jake Junis.
They're going to bring him over here for dinner. They're like, hey, there's a guy that's in the neighborhood that's from your hometown, and they're like, all right,
huzzah! So was Curtis Granderson when he was really good, and didn't do a damn thing for Jerry Reinsdorf and Kenny Williams. So
nope.
What I like about your plan, I do think it is realistic as far as the targets that you have identified and the type of money that would be spent on these guys. They are, I don't want to say easily disposable because, man, they're human beings and they're athletes. That's a terrible way to say it. But you can move them out of the way when younger players are ready to prove themselves in the major leagues, or you could try to trade them away come the deadline in late July and very early August. But yeah, my Sox summer, this team's going, if I ran this through the Zips projections, if you gave me your 26-man roster and I go to Dan Zaborski, it'd be like, run this through Zips. The most common projection out of 1,000 projections I'd be willing to bet would be 57 and 105 and a bottom 3 record in Major League Baseball.
What's funny though is like in that lineup right there, Tasker Hernandez probably 37 home runs, 285 average, 110 RBIs on that 57 win team. Now you're going to get one guy who shoots the moon out of that group that you're like, who are these guys? And one guy absolutely great. And you're like, they should have added more around that guy. That's how I'll be at the end of the year. It's like, damn it, they should add more people.
And they're going to be like, Jose Abreu, who? What?
Let's get to a drink real quick. Chuck says, Loud Chuck says, cheers. Happy birthday, Josh. So thank you, Chuck.
I hope you're doing well, Chuck.
All right. Josh, thanks a lot for going over the offseason plans with us. Normally at this point in the show, we'd kick the guests right the fuck off the show, but we're not going to. We're going to let My Sox Summer sell some shrimp, and then you're going to stick around and play a little game with us. So
yeah, it's your birthday present, other than that picture of Wally. So here, hold on 1 second.
Go ahead and sell.
November is here. It's time for all your holiday faves to start showing up. Turkey, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, stuffing, sweet potatoes, dinner rolls, and pumpkin pie. Classic holiday food, but they can get a little stale, right? Of course they can. You can only eat so many turkey sandwiches before you start craving a change. Enter Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp. They've been serving up your freshly fried seafood favorites since 1950. So when you've had enough of the bird, get your butt to one of Lawrence's 4 locations and get a full order of coconut shrimp. It's sweet and pairs well with their Thai chili sauce. Add fries and a drink for only $5 more. It's the go-to move all holiday season. Visit them online at chicagoshrimp.com to see all their locations. And through the magic of the internet, you can see their menus and even place an order. Pretty goddamn amazing. Happy holidays from your friends at Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp. Lawrence's Fisheries, serving the seafood you crave since 1950.
Boys, we're going to play one of our absolute favorite games, and it is called This or That, where My Sox Summer quizzes us on his eBay treasures that he sold. But before we start the game, I want to get to a drink right here from Daniel Pearson. Daniel says, why should my heart voluntarily hurt by the Chicago White Sox? Josh is a good point. Also, happy birthday, sir. Jameson time. This is normal and fine. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that.
Cheers. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, thank you,
the
Dan.
floor is yours with eBay treasures, and Josh and I will go heads up on this conversation.
Yeah, I just went and pulled up the page. Another thing, I have a big monitor now, so I can screen, so I can put up my notes. I'm not killing trees like I normally was. I was printing things off and then writing and just going crazy. But I did have like something inside me that said, "Go get a piece of paper, big guy, because you might want to scribble and draw still." Because that's what a lot of times what I'll do, especially when we're talking baseball. But Josh, I thank you for working so hard to make me look like I actually know what I'm talking about when it comes to baseball. I appreciate that. And for you,
Treasy could never.
No. And for you to say that is the most realistic thing, that was what I was going for. I was like, this is who they're going to sign because this guy has like little upside. So yeah, I appreciate that very much. So
it was It was a craft off-season project.
That's true.
Appreciate it.
I love craft things of all all types. Now, if you guys don't know, I think most of you do. I buy and resell stuff on eBay all the time. I don't buy on eBay. I buy at thrift stores. I buy at garage sales. I buy at people's houses that are just trying to get rid of shit. They call those garage sales. I put those things up there. We started this a couple years ago. We're like, hey, what sold for more? People love it, so we're back. It is also the birthday boy's favorite segment that we do. He likes to play it so much so that he told me a couple of years ago that I should disclose where I'm going to buy all these things. And I said, you fucking idiot. No, I cannot do that because then people will take the stuff that I need to buy. That's a bad form, but it's your birthday, so I won't call you a fucking idiot anymore. All right. First up, these have just recently sold on eBay. I was telling Loaf beforehand, I think the last show I did 16. That's 32 items. Today I did 11. That's 22. So now we got to be chill. We got to be chill for a little bit on this or that because your boy ain't selling a lot, and I do need to pay for all this new gear that I got. So we got to hopefully list some more stuff. Now, first up, we have a vintage Chicago White Sox snapback hat from about the 1990s. It's purple, and it has Miller Lite logo on the side versus the Chicago White Sox, the script logo where it just says White Sox, red pullover jersey, cool base. It's a size medium, was probably used in a Little League game. So we have the vintage hat from the 90s that's purple, or the cool base jersey that was used by a Little League team. Josh Nelson, it is the choice is yours.
I hope nobody spent more than $10 on these items because the way that you described them, like clearly this is some kid's Little League jersey that the mom does not want to keep because mom and dad divorced and she doesn't want any memories of ex-husband laying around. So that's sold for $9.99, which are you paying for shipping on this or are they paying for shipping?
No, they always pay for shipping.
Okay, of course. So shipping's half the cost. This 90s hat with the Miller Lite logo goes for what? I don't even know who buys this. Who buys this crap? I'm going to go Little League jersey. I'm going to go Little League jersey because of the cool base. So
okay.
That's my
Josh,
pick.
Josh going with a Little League jersey. Loaf.
Now, MSS, real quick question on that jersey.
Sure. Yeah.
Is it fully red with the white lettering?
It's red. And then it has, it's just like a screen printed lettering on there. Short sleeve, just like the two buttons on the top. It's not a full button jersey. It's like a Little League kids jersey. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie,
nice jersey. I would take that if I was in Little League.
Bro, that's the jersey that Treasy and I had when we were on the White Sox at Donovan Park for the first couple years. The last year they switched over to the black, like the actual where it says Sox and fully black jersey. But we had that red shit before then. Wouldn't have been my jersey. I was never a medium when I was in those levels, so it's not
Shocker.
me. I'm not gonna go with the Little League jersey. I'm gonna go with the hat. The hat seems out of place here, right? Jersey versus hat. It's like, what the fuck? How the fuck could a hat be worth more than the jersey? So it's MSS trying to trick us. However, he did say vintage on a hat. Where he always tries to fuck with me with the vintage bullshit. But I'm still gonna go hat because it got some purple in there. So give me a hat.
All right, the vintage purple White Sox hat from the 90s sold for $35.
What?
The Chicago White Sox script logo red pullover jersey, which is cool base, sold for a whopping total 99 cents.
Yes.
I bought the jersey because it was $2, and I'm like, I can sell this for at least 10, and I could not. And it sold for 99 cents.
Josh, you ever wonder why does he pull the trigger on the 99 cent? Could you just do so? Could you just make an art project with that instead of get 99 cents?
You know what? Some poor sucker is going to go on that Chinese site to buy what they think is a legit MLB jersey, and they're going to get that in the mail. And they're going to pay $50 for it. And the Chinese company just made $45 off of my socks on it.
It's really not even that good look. I mean, it's a cool jersey for what it is, but it's definitely not that great. All right, Josh, this is okay. Well, Loaf's up now. This is my next twosome. A 2023 Milwaukee Brewers Paige Spiranac. Is it Spiranac?
Spiranac,
yeah.
Spiranac
Whatever,
bobblehead. When she did golf night, that's her bobblehead. They did a special giveaway versus a lot. And I don't know if you know what this is, but a lot is when you put a lot of items together. They call it a lot. There's more than one. There's a bunch. I have a vintage 1985 Transformers lot.
It's tough. It's interesting. I feel like the Paige Spiranac thing came up before. You might have bought more of these. There maybe was one in a previous episode. Of course, I'm blanking on whatever the fuck the price was. So I'm going Transformers because I don't know. A lot of Transformers sounds like you're trying to trick me. I'm going to go with that one.
It's Paige. It's Paige because this was the thing with the Milwaukee Brewers. When she showed up and in the first row, they wanted this like long winning streak. Like they could not lose. And Brewers Twitter and Brewers fans were like in love with Paige. And they gave her a bobblehead because of how well did they play it. And they started playing a lot better after the bobblehead day. So I'm thinking some random schmuck just bought this for their buddy in Wisconsin. You totally sold this to someone in Scotty.
Probably.
And I'm going to go with the bobblehead. You probably sold that bobblehead for $65.
$65. Okay. The Page bobblehead, $85. Oh. The vintage 1985 Transformers lot, $59.99.
Oh, damn it.
Now, Loaf, I'll tell you this. I was like this close to donating all those things. And I was like, I'm just going to donate them because I just don't even want to list them because it's such a hassle. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm making a lot and throwing it all in there. $60, man. $60.
Man. Thought you'd made total magic with that, but not Paige Brannick, man.
Not total magic.
1-1. Right. We're tied at 1 right now.
You're tied 1-1 going into the third question. A vintage Josh, you're first on this one, so be ready. Vintage 1980s Fisher-Price cassette player / recorder. They were the tan brown things that you hit the button and the thing would pop out. You could carry that motherfucker around, record your dad yelling at you, your mom telling you, you're stupid. Get out of here, you moron. I don't want to see you, eat your vegetables. It was a very fun thing for me to carry around versus a vintage Matchbox Super Kings Coca-Cola truck. Peterbilt, like one of the tractor trailer versions from 1978. It was your boy's actual truck that he played with. It was missing one back door. One of the doors on the back is missing. So these both sold. So we got the Fisher-Price cassette player recorder versus the Matchbox Coca-Cola truck.
See, it's Matchbox. If it was Hot Wheels, be a different story here. Because there are serious Hot Wheels collectors. Great example, when I worked at Kmart as a teenager, when Dale Earnhardt died at Daytona, every Dale Earnhardt thing we had at Kmart sold.
Yep.
Everything sold. So I know when it comes to cars and trucks like that, those things can sneak up on you because there are serious collectors. I'm going to go with the Peterbilt truck. I'm going to say you shockingly sold that for $39.95.
Whoa. Loaf?
I automatically
what angle are you playing?
Yeah, I automatically want to go with the microphone recorder thing because those like vintage things, people really like that shit. They like or like the fucking stupid Teddy Ruxpin that would talk or whatever.
Yeah.
People like shit from that era that seemed like it was like from space. It didn't even belong in that era. But Josh makes some good points about the truck. I don't know. And you really went on and on about the goddamn microphone and all the shit and how you had it and stuff. So
I did.
I wonder if you're a little more sentimental about that, and that's why you did more, but it wasn't more. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the microphone, the recorder, but I'm skeptical. I'm not sure if I'm making the right decision.
Okay. So we have the vintage 1980s Fisher-Price cassette player recorder, sold for a grand total of 99 cents. The vintage Matchbox Super Kings Coca-Cola truck sold for a whopping $9.99. So yeah, Josh takes the lead, 2-1.
2-1. All right.
2-1.
If it was Hot Wheels, it would have sold for $39.95.
I literally loved that Coca-Cola truck too, and they'll sell it for $10, and only find out it was worth $10. Made me kind of sad. Now, I don't know, Josh. I know you listen to our podcast regularly. I went out and did a garage sale not too long ago, and I came home with 2 Marshall amps, and I was very happy. It was something as I've always wanted. Before I was coming home, though, I stopped at the thrift store real quick and just took a dip in there real quick and was walking around because they didn't have the kids, and I saw something on the wall, and I bought it, and then I sold it. It was a vintage Captain Seattle #1 comic book poster by Rudolph Sandoval. Now listen, Rudolph Sandoval is an artist who used to have a gallery at Pike's Market in Seattle. So he was down at the end of one of the two places. This is a print of a fake comic book that he made, which was superheroes fighting pollution. It's insane. Like, I saw it, it had vibrant colors, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this. I think I could probably make $1 on it. We'll see what happens. It was also signed by him in 1980. Versus a Harley Davidson motorcycle, full zip jacket, made in the USA, 3XL. Loaf, you're first.
I think I'm first, right? Yeah, we're going with the 3XL jacket. I don't know what you're talking about with that print, and it sounds really cool and everything. You know what? No one bought that. The Harley Davidson, though, big fat guys. Big fat guys. No, they didn't. Not for real. The real big fat guys want that Harley Davidson shit and have a XXX. That's nice. You got the big boys are in there riding around. So, yeah, I'll take the XXX.
Yep. That's a good look. That's good.
I think Beef's ultimately going to be right, but the poster intrigues me because you're also playing to the comic book crowd, always going through eBay buying random crap. And going to the Seattle artsy fartsy crowd, which I did buy a piece of art when I was at Pike's Place in Seattle for Cheesy at his birthday. It combined Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and Star Wars. So we might be surprised here with the comic book print, but ultimately I think Beef's going to be right. But yeah, give me the comic book poster.
All right. No one was more surprised than your boy when that comic book poster art sold for $125.
What?
Like, first thing, I
shit.
put it up, and then it was gone. Now, Loaf, you didn't pick the comic book. You picked the motorcycle jacket. Now, your boy, same thought process. Big boys ride Harleys. This jacket is not that expensive. Not that expensive. Your brother. I fucking hate your brother. So anyway, yes. So yes, I was like, this is going to sell. The big boys love the Harleys. Been sitting in my basement for nearly a year at a certain price. Lowered it, sold it, $29.99. Lost fucking money on that motherfucker. I paid $39.90 something at the goddamn thrift store. I was like, this is going to sell for more than this. I'm going to get 65 to 75. Did not fucking happen. So, Josh, you are correct. You have taken a big lead. Now it's 3-1. Now,
man, I had a good winning streak in this game going, and then Treasy clobbered me last time, and I'm getting crushed this time too. Fuck.
I paid like $15 for this poster, and I was like, I feel like this is gonna sell. Like I done some real crackpot quick research. And the 1 and number 2 sold for $125. So I was like, okay, well maybe I'll get 75 or whatever, and that's $50. That's not bad. And then when it sold for 125, I was like, shit, I probably should have listed it for 2 something, and then I maybe would have got that. It was just one of those weird things.
Left money on the table.
Left money on the table. All right, Josh, you're up next. This is again, I haven't sold a lot of stuff, so you're not getting this the same genre going against each other, so we just got to deal with it. Brand new MLB jersey numbers. Now these are numbers that I bought at the garage sale for the White Sox. They give you the numbers that they actually stitch onto the jerseys. People get them autographed, people put them on jerseys, whatever. I had a set of black numbers with gray outlines for number 99, which is my favorite number, versus a vintage Bell & Howell 8mm 252 electric eye movie camera, which I have tested by myself and push the button and it runs and it still works. So we have a MLB jersey number set versus a Bell & Howell 8mm camera with a case. It has a nice leather case.
How old is this camera? It takes film, right?
I think it's 70s. It wasn't old. It's not old 50s shit. I think it was 70s.
It's the camera. It's the camera, because just like everyone going to the record stores and buying vinyl to listen to music, you're starting to see those who are serious into photography try to go and buy old cameras to shoot on film again, because they just like the way that the pictures develop off of film than being digitized right now. Even though you can get better resolution from digital cameras, it's just the look and feel of the photos themselves when they are shooting on film. So yeah, give me the camera. You sold that more than, I don't even remember what the
hold on.
The 99, the jersey numbers, you probably sold those for 99 cents.
Just to be clear, the camera is a like a movie camera. It's an 8mm. It's not 35mm. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure
that's what we shot student films on. Back at UW Oshkosh when I was taking film classes, we shot on 8mm.
Oshkosh, love it. God. Loaf, what are you
Man,
thinking?
You know what? I love Josh's thought process there, but you know what? Fuck that old piece of shit camera. I mean, the fact no one who's serious about this shit is buying it from My Sox Summer, who knows nothing about cameras, on eBay. They're buying it from someone a little more reputable if they're real serious about it. So I'm gonna go with the numbers, even though the numbers sound like a pile of bullshit. Like I wouldn't pay the 99 cents for those, Josh. But I'm picking the numbers anyway because there's some lunatic out there who loves 99 as much as this guy and wants to get them autographed or make love to them. I have no idea.
The jersey shop at 35th. Why am I? The name's escaping me.
Grandstand.
Grandstand buys those things off eBay. It's cheaper that way.
That's right.
I wish they did. I would walk them right over to them, not even ship, save that money. The new MLB jersey numbers, the 99 set, $24.99. The vintage Bell & Howell 8mm camera with electric eye, with case, 99 cents.
Yes! Yes! I knew it!
Josh, I really wish that you were my customers because you have identified all my 99-cent sales and said, this is wonderful. This is a good, yes, we need to do this. This is what people like. I like your attitude. I like where you're going. Continue to do it. It's going to make it more interesting. So, Josh, you are still in the lead, 3-2 right? Against Loaf. Loaf is going to go first on this one. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar. Josh, you probably are. You're young. Like a ripe 39. Obey. Have you ever heard of Obey? See your brother.
I don't know what's going on there.
It's your brother. And then the fact that he's saying I'm not doing that shit makes it even more even so worse. That he is doing that shit. So Obey is like a skate brand. They make different shirts. It's Shepard Fairey. He's the one that made the Obey or the Hope poster for Obama. So yeah, he's got his own clothing line. He did a Keith Haring gray tank top that I sold. Keith Haring was a street artist in New York, died of AIDS. He's the guy that makes all those like stick figure looking guys. Very cool. Did some stuff with the Chicago Public Schools though back in the day. Versus a vintage Chicago Bulls champion shooting shirt. Now, and I've seen Jordan wearing these. They have this duck cotton champion shirts that they would wear embroidered. It had Chicago across the front in black, or there's a black front with a white Chicago, and then on the back was a big bull's head. My dad got it from a friend who got too fat and couldn't wear it anymore. And my dad said, "Do you want these? Do you want to sell them?" And I said, "Absolutely. That is champion. I am taking that home with me." So we have the Obey Keith Haring gray tank top versus a vintage Chicago Bulls champion shooting shirt. And champion is the brand, not like a championship year.
I understood that. Yeah, okay. You know what, my Sox Summer, you're fucking trying to trap me here. And I'm not picking that artsy bullshit, all right? I know how well Bulls stuff sells. Bulls, whatever Bulls thing, I'm picking that Bulls thing. Give me that Bulls shooting shirt. No way am I don't even know who the hell you're talking about on the other thing. So I'm Bulls.
Let me go the Seattle route. The comic book poster sold for a lot of money. Street art, big hearts, AIDS activists, or someone that died of AIDS. Same thing. Give me the tank top. You probably sold that for $50.
Well, Josh, again, I wish you were my buyers, but not in this case, because the Obey Keith Haring gray tank top jersey went for $25. The vintage Chicago Bulls champion shooting shirt sold for $20. Loaf, you got fucked, bro.
No!
Yes.
What the fuck? How did that happen?
Josh is up 4-2. Now, one thing you're
Damn
not
it.
considering, Loaf, and this is a problem. If it's not Jordan, it doesn't really sell as good. Second, they
course.
made so much of this stuff. It's all over the place. And unless
That's
it's
true.
in great condition, it's not going to sell. This was not fucked up. I thought it was in very good condition.
Yeah.
I think it went overseas. But yeah, no, I've gotten to the point where I'm trying to fucking just get rid of shit. So I was like, the guy offered me $20. I said, fuck yeah, let's do it, dude. $20 is $20, as they say.
They're out there bodying me on that. There's lots of bull shirts on the market. Yeah, I know. All right.
And
sour grapes now.
I have those too, but I've sold a lot of those for $75 to $65. But I've also paid like $55, $60 for them. So I'm only making like $15, IRS. Good try. All right. Next up, Josh, you're first in this one. Two Chicago Cubs World Series champs Pepsi cans. They're empty because they exploded in my back room where they were sitting. They had an exploded can, but it's Pepsi, and it just has on the back of it the congrats Chicago Cubs World Series champions 2016 versus two Goose Island Beer Company pint glasses that had the DePaul Blue Demons logo on the other side.
The Cubs, first of all, terrible handling. You fool. If the soda was still in the cans, it would have sold for so much more. But you sold the cans for like $9.99. You sold the DePaul pint glasses for like $5. So give me the Chicago Cubs cans.
That's it. I mean, that's okay.
Man, as much as I do not want to go with our old sponsor, Goose Island, they just left us. They left us a Dear John note, and they were gone in the night. I do not trust the empty-ass cans. I don't think you got shit for those. I agree with Josh. I'm going to go with the pint glasses, the DePaul pint glasses.
No, Josh went.
He went Cubs,
I want
right?
the cans.
You went cans.
I went Cubs.
You're going, yeah, and
DePaul.
you're going DePaul. Okay,
Yeah.
All right. So both very good, thinking, rationale behind it. Josh, the problem with keeping these full and selling them is the shipping jumps, right? Like if you try to ship them 2 cans that are full, you're talking 3 pounds. It's not good. It's not good. People don't want to pay that much. The 2 Chicago Cubs World Series champion Pepsi cans sold for $4.99, and then plus shipping, which is $6. The 2 Goose Island Beer Company pint glasses sold for $9.99. So, Josh, you had the correct prices, just in the wrong order. 10 and 5. So Loaf has got 3.
Yeah.
Josh, you have 4.
4. Yeah.
All right, and we have 1, 2. What? Hold on. 1,
Should
2,
be 4
3,
left.
4. We have 4 left. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So, next up. People collect things that have advertising on them. If it's an advertising product, like it's a Marlboro ashtray, it's a whatever. What's the fucking the depressing drug? The drug that's all for the depressive stuff. Like when it first came out to make you happy, Prozac. Everyone's like, oh, it's a Prozac mug. People buy a Prozac mug. Your boy's out at a thrift store. I see some Nasonex, which is like stuff you shoot in your nose so you don't have allergies. Tennis balls, like brand new, just chilling there. And I'm like, this looks like a great buy. Like somebody's going to buy this. It's advertising. So I have Nasonex Wilson tennis balls, 3 in a can. And it just said Nasonex on them. Versus a Strombecker Tootsie Toy black Chevrolet Corvette plastic car. So it's like an old school, like in the like early 80s, early to mid 80s Corvette made by a USA company plastic, but one of those plastic cars that you like drive around, like kids play with and shit.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm first in this, and
Yeah.
the sell job and the fucking tennis balls turned me the hell off because all you were doing was selling it to us, so you didn't sell like an idiot for whatever it was. Like that's
Why
how,
I bought it?
Josh and I are both looking like, what is this exactly? And it took you 12 minutes to explain it, so that is definitely not it. I'm going with the Corvette, the plastic Corvette car. I know what that is. Kids know what that is. Their parents know what that is, and they'll buy that. No one cares about tennis balls of some nasal drug.
Right.
So,
Clearly, it was some guy who worked for Baxter Pharmacy It's like, oh, I still have these around. I'm just going to donate them. I'm not going to throw them away. Can't sell them in a garage sale because nobody's going to buy this crap. So I'm just going to donate them. And what? People could use it to throw to their dogs. So I'm going to say you spent 99 cents on the tennis balls. Okay. Beef's going to be right, but I am... Yeah, let's see what the tennis ball sold for.
So who'd you pick?
I'm going with the tennis balls. Because
you're going with tennis balls? Okay, you're going to go...
Even though I think you sold them for 99 cents, but that Corvette probably went for, what, 75 cents?
Well, you're doing it, right? All right. I like it. I like this, Josh. I would have changed anybody's mind if I would have said that, because I think I remember that they had the Nason X logo on the tennis ball. Would that change anybody's mind?
No.
Okay, cool. All right, just making sure. Nason X tennis ball sold for $12 plus shipping. The Strombecker Tootsie Toy Black Chevrolet Corvette plastic car sold for $9.99.
Fuck!
Gosh. You lucked into that one.
You got $12 for 3 tennis balls that have some random ass pharmaceutical logo on them.
Dude, there was nobody more surprised that they sold than your boy right here. And honestly, what you said is correct. I was like, listen, even if they don't sell, I just bought a thing of tennis balls for like $1. I can use them and pitch them to the girls. We can play soft catch, whatever.
I'm with CD44. Who wants a Nason X tennis ball?
I don't know, but I made money on it, so I'm good. Don't question it. All right. Now we're kind of getting back into like a little bit more baseball-y. I know you guys are good at this. Sporty. So I'd say sporty. We're going. Actually, this is baseball. It's just all baseball. The next one is sporty. We have a brand new Javier Baez trophy bobblehead from 2016. They release like retail versions where the guys are actually holding the trophy. This is of Javi Baez from 2016. Versus, these are retail. This isn't a giveaway. This was retail. Somebody went to a store and bought those. Me bought them over at Grandstand. Versus the Chicago Cubs mascot bobblehead from 2016 holding the trophy. So who's worth more? Javi Baez holding the trophy or Clark, the mascot, holding the trophy?
It should be Javi Baez. It should be Javi Baez.
Okay.
But it's Cubs fans. So you may have found the one Cubs fan who hated Javi Baez, but loves a pantless mascot because they're a pervert. So give me Clark the Cub Bear. Give me the mascot bobblehead.
Sausage.
Got the salchicha hanging. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Baez. I kind of I like Josh's thought process there, but I think there's enough bias. Like we were at the Sox Tigers game. And a bunch of kids came in who played ball from out of town, and they sat in 108, and they were huge Baez fans. So I think there's enough people that like Baez, even though Baez is also hated. Like he has the the bipolar fandom thing going on. I'm gonna go with Baez because I think there's someone out there who loves him.
Nice. I mean, good rationale from both of you. The Javi Baez trophy sold for $99.99. The Clark's Clark version sold for $50. $50.
Yes.
People don't want that pervert on their wall. So you guys, it's a stalemate. Josh is still up 5-3. And we're going into our final two.
It's 5-4.
5-4?
This is our 10th one. Yeah.
You sure?
Right? Yeah, because we got 2 left. Right? There's 11 total.
Okay.
He seems skeptical.
I think you're right.
I'm up.
I think you're
there's 2
pretty
left.
right.
Yeah, I think I'm right.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, so you're up first. We have a Babe Ruth from 2015 Bowie Bay Sox bobblehead that they gave away versus a 4-pack lot of 1997's Press Pass Double Threat Hobby Base Basketball packs. Okay, I got 4 packs of these hobby baseball cards. It's a Press Pass Double Threat. I think it's Topps. I'm not exactly sure who the manufacturer was. So we have the Babe Ruth Bay Sox bobblehead versus 4 packs of unopened basketball cards from 1997.
Yeah, bring me Babe Ruth. I'll take Babe Ruth.
Okay.
I don't know the good basketball years other than I know that Jordan's rookie year is a good year, and that could be either 84 Star or 87 Fleer, but those are neither of that. So I will take the Babe Ruth.
Yep. Okay.
You're telling me Joe Smith wasn't a big draw? Wasn't he like
number 1 overall pick? Is that what it is? 97.
No, I just had to Google. Allen Iverson won Rookie of the Year in '97.
Okay. I mean, AI
so
was
maybe
great.
you got a 76ers fan that's looking for an AI card. So yeah, give me the basketball cards.
Okay. Babe Ruth bobblehead sold for $28.
Oh no.
The 4-pack lot from 1997 basketball cards sold for $24. So only a $4 difference. So sorry, but Loaf, you have tied the game.
Down to the last one. We'll keep it tight.
One.
A lot of action.
And don't pick the same one because then I don't have anything else.
Mr. Hand is correct. It is 86 for. I misspoke. Not 87.
Yeah, it's an 86.
Thank you.
I was going to say something, but I didn't want you to appear dumb.
The Pippen rookie is 87, I believe. So
I think you're correct. Yeah. I have the Fleer one. I like that.
Yeah, I have that too.
Very
Still
cool card.
Love that card.
Especially when it says Central Arkansas on the back. You're like, well, yeah. How did they do this? And you're like, oh yeah, okay, that's right. All right, Josh, you're gonna love it. 1980s Matchbox / Hot Wheels lot of cards. I had a bunch of cars. I just was like, I'm going to donate these. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to put them in a lot, throw it up on eBay and see if it sells. Versus a Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood.
Yeah.
But since fucking, Mr. Rogers, passed away, Daniel Tiger is basically Mr. Rogers in fucking cartoon form.
Took over, baby.
It's a toy trolley with all of the figures from the fucking show. So you got Daniel Tiger, you got the cat, you got the owl, you got all that shit that Mr. Rogers used to show you in the fucking make-believe neighborhood. Prince Friday, all that shit. So you have the figures plus the trolley versus a lot of Matchbox Hot Wheel cars. I think there was about 8 cars in there.
Give me the Hot Wheels. Give me the cars.
Okay.
A mom bought the Daniel Tiger and was looking to spend $5 on a toy. So give me the cars.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm glad you went that direction, Josh, because I'm a Daniel Tiger man myself. And even though Bonita was not a big fan of Daniel Tiger when we were younger, I mean, watch a little bit. That was not a cartoon she's really into. I enjoyed it very much, so I'm happy to go Daniel Tiger for the win. Let's go. MSS,
for the win. Okay, the 1980s Matchbox Hot Wheel lot sold for $19.99. The Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood Troy Trolley, which lights up, moves, plus every figure that's in there, $1.25. Josh, happy birthday. You have won this or that. Again.
Damn it.
Beef loaf.
$1. You tricked me on that, MSS.
I have had that motherfucker
hoodwinked on this
for so long at $19.99, then moved to $14.99. Finally, it's like, you know what? Fuck it. 99 cents. And I throw it up for auction. That's a common theme because I'm like, I'm getting rid of this stuff. I'm taking the loss, and then I can show the IRS that I don't make tons of money every time I do this. And I was like, I'm going to throw this fucking up there for 99 cents. It sold. It started getting bids at the end, and I was very excited, but they were only 5-cent bids. And it was like, I sold for $1.25. I'm like, I lost $5 on this. I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is fucking ridiculous.
I just imagine monitoring an item and moving your bid up 5 more cents.
So congratulations, Josh. You are this or that champion for the last one we're going to do in 2023. Yep. Thanks for coming on the show. Happy birthday. We're going to show this one more time. So if you're not on, you're watching on the YouTube, you get to see Wally Money playing with his leg while Josh sings the theme to Aladdin. It's beautiful. So thank you again for coming on.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me on. It was fun to play this and that. And good luck with the feedback on your off-season plan projects. And be curious to see what the White Sox do in these next couple of months.
Awesome. Take care, my friend. All right, that was Josh Nelson. That was great. I'm glad you finally let Josh join in on this or that MSS because I know he loves that segment. And I'm a little sore that he beat me because I thought I was going to win that one. So
he had like the worst rationale for why he was picking things, but like,
and then he'd get it right.
But he'd still get it right. He's like, well, this is why this is perfect. And then it was like, oh no. Because but a lot of the things that he said is things that go through my head when I'm buying junk, at these thrift stores. So I appreciate him doing that.
All right, let's close this up. It's time to get to thank yous and or GFYs. My Sox Summer, you go first, man.
Oh, God. Loaf, I can't get to the GFY fast enough for what I have been experiencing since I went to fucking Insights Hospital over here on Chicago's South Side last fucking September to get a fucking x-ray done on my foot. First off, I get a goddamn bill in the mail. The first time I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm not paying this much money for a fucking, an x-ray. Seems a little ridiculous. So I'm like, I'm not going to pay it. And then they kept sending the bills because that's what they do. So I was like, okay, you know what? This is probably legit. I got some information. I checked with some sources. They're like, yeah, that's probably what you should pay. So I paid $276.97. Okay, I did not pay it in 2023. Or 2022. I paid it in 2023. Now, the HSA card that I have, we went through that. There is a goddamn fucking paper record that I paid this to Insight Hospital. It says on there, Insight, blah, blah, blah. Okay. There has been an ongoing saga where they have called me and said, we did not get this payment. I go, no, you did. And I go, how can I show you that you got the payment? And they're like, fax us. And I'm like, boom, brain just blows the fuck up. Because who the fuck has had a goddamn fax machine since they created email? Oh my God, let me just fucking send you a goddamn picture of this thing. So now we go back and forth for about 3 fucking months to 5 months where of me saying, they're like, oh, just send it to this number. Did you send it to this number? Did you send it to this number? And I continually get fucking pieces of mail with goddamn bills in it. So you know what I did, Loaf? I fucking printed out the goddamn thing that says you paid this shit on this motherfucking day, and I stapled it to the fucking bill, and I sent it back to Insight because I'm like, you're not getting my faxes because no one is getting my faxes. This is fucking stupid. No one does this. So anyway, I'm like getting all this shit out. It's fucking gone. I'm like, this is over, right? Woman calls, continues to call, and it's like, hey, you still owe us money. I'm like, okay, you're the 17th person I fucking talked to about this, but this is what's happened. She's like, okay, let me go and check the fax, blah, blah, blah. Oh, don't hear from them for about 4 weeks. And I'm like, all right,
you're in the clear.
I'm like, they finally have figured this shit out. It is fine. It is great. It is grand. And it is over. And it doesn't even fucking, and I'm just like, I'm happy. What happens this week? I start getting the fucking robo-dials. Not even a live person calling anymore. I've moved into the robo-dials of, this is a message from Insight Hospital. Please call back at this number at your convenience. And then I'm like, motherfucker. Okay, they're going to call. That this is different than before. So clearly they have gotten the money. They know what is taken care of. They're just like, hey, call in. We're just going to tell you that your fucking shit is fine. Don't worry about it. You don't owe us any money. It's fucking all over. It's water under the bridge. We're fucking done. Okay. Call back in finally when I have a chance to talk to somebody. Get the same girl that I've talked to about 4 times. Yeah. And she's like, oh, hey, Mr. Swartley, I remember you. And I was like, oh, yeah, great. I go, so what's the good news? Because you've been doing the auto dial. She's like, yeah, you still owe us this money. I go, this is ridiculous. We get into the next fucking step of this shit, okay? Yeah. We get to the next step. We're just like talking. I'm like, this is goofy. She goes, listen, what's the date on there? I go, it's January, whatever. That's when I paid it. That's when they said that the thing took place. She goes, yeah, we would not have billed this until August of this year. And I go, what? And she goes, you would not have been billed for the service last September until August of the following year.
That
and I go,
insane.
That doesn't sound right whatsoever.
No.
And I go, and why does this charge appear on my HSA is the exact fucking amount of the thing? She's like, we never sent you a bill. I go, bullshit. Because how did I just figure out what exactly I owed? Why is there an exact fucking charge? And and she's like, I don't know what's happening. You need to talk to your HSA. I was like, I don't think so. It says Insight all over the fucking bill. Like, you fucking Insight. Okay, I don't know what the fuck is happening here. I've sent you shit. I've gone over and over, blah blah blah, all this shit, whatever. finally, I just say, you know what? Fuck this. I don't want you fucking calling. And I'm not saying this to this person because it's not their fault. I mean, there's some other idiot on the other end, like that's not figuring this shit out.
You didn't even give one fuck? Did you give at least one fuck? Though?
No.
I mean, you're giving a lot of fucks right now. You couldn't give a single fuck on the call?
I did say bullshit. I did
bullshit.
say this.
Okay,
I go, this is kind of bullshit.
You gotta deliver it because you gotta show them who's boss, MSS. Come on.
Like how do I have the exact fucking amount? Like this is ridiculous. And she's like, well, maybe you paid something. I'm like, you're just making shit up now. I don't know what the fuck's happening. So I finally fucking just say, fuck it. I don't want this fucking happening. Here's my HSA card that I used the first time. We're doing it again. We're fucking gonna pay for it again, and I will fucking go and clean it up on the back end and find out what the fuck is going on because you guys have fucked this shit up. And so she's like, thank you, Mr. Swartley. All right, we will take this, and it's taken care of. I just doxed myself. This is awesome. And so, yeah, I fucking got all this shit taken care of, and we're done. I am done with Insight, but go fuck yourself, Insight, because there's no way in hell I just became aware of what the exact charge was, and the exact charge goes through, and you're just like, oh, no, this did not happen. No, this did not. We never would have drilled this because of such and such. It's like, you're full of shit, and you just continue to fucking make excuses. I'm never coming to your hospital. You'll never see me again because, motherfuck, this is ridiculous. Goddamn ridiculous. Loaf. who are you thinking or GFY, my man?
It's going to be a little shorter than yours. My GFY goes to all you motherfuckers overreacting to Carissa Thompson's admission that sometimes she fakes the halftime sideline report. We want everyone to be fucking honest and authentic and tell them exactly what's going on. And then when we do, we hate on them. Everyone can get the fuck out of here. Good for you, Carissa, for telling the truth. Yes, we know. In fact, even when the interview is legit, it's total bullshit that what the coach tells us anyway, so who cares? It's fun. I'm glad she did that, and everyone else can F off who's complaining about this shit. That's it. That's enough from us tonight. Thanks to Josh Nelson. We're going to skip next week. We're going to be off for the holiday. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks for our anniversary show. November 30th is going to be our anniversary show. Happy Thanksgiving. Love you guys. We'll see you. Bye.